everyone, and welcome down to episode number 102 of the Down South Photo Show with me, Brendan Waits, here in Ocean Grove, Victoria, Australia. And the guy on the other screen, or in your other ear if you're listening to the podcast, it's Cam Blake, not in Hobart, Tasmania, Australia. No. Cameron is coming to us live from the United States of America. Hello, Cameron.
Hello, everybody. How are we going? No, that's a terrible American accent. Hello, how you going? Yeah, I'm terrible. Yes, we are in America. We are in the land of the home of and the free, or the brave, or whatever they call themselves. Can you guess where I am?
I know where you are, but I'm sure the viewers can guess.
Look at that. Live from Zion National Park. So, yeah, we are lunchtime here. What time is it there, Brendan?
It is just approaching 6 a.m. So thank you very much for helping me get up at Sparrows. But that's all right. I've got up. I've had my coffee. I've fed the chooks. That is not a euphemism. I've
fed the chooks.
I've gotten busy. It's good. It's good to be busy early. I love it. Cameron, what puts you, other than an aeroplane, what puts you in the United States? Why are you there, and why are you in Utah?
We are in Utah with 5-Star Dan as well. So we're scouting for next year's Utah trip in 2024. So we have two back-to-back trips here, two 10-day trips coming up in October and November next year. So we thought we'd better come and check the place out before we take people's money and show them around. So we've been here this is only our first full day in Zion. We were here for a few hours last night. The light dropped off pretty quick. But we're here for another day or two, and then we head off to out the back here somewhere out to Bryce Canyon, and then we're going up to Arches National Park, and then we're going down to Monument Valley and back to Vegas. So yeah,
Fantastic.
That's what we're doing here.
Love it. That behind you right now, that's Zion, is that right?
Yeah. So I'll get my head out the way for people watching at home. So the Zion Canyon sort of runs down right behind me here, and this is sort of like the gateway to it here. Don't ask me what all the mountains are called because I haven't learned them all yet. But there's the three patriarchs are out here somewhere.
Awesome.
There's a river that runs through the middle of this called Virgin River. So there's a Virgin Canyon and there's a Virgin Peak and a few other things named after that as well. And around the back of these mountains over here, there's a tunnel, man. There's a tunnel that goes through a mountain for about 3 or 4 kilometers. It's ridiculous. So we've been up there, which is called the Canyon Outlook this morning. So yeah, it's a pretty amazing place. So we're both pretty speechless when we got here this morning. It was hasn't been the greatest morning, but we had some light filtering into the valley. There's all autumn colors through here still at the moment, which is awesome. So next year when we come here, it's going to be smack bang in the middle of autumn. So we're really excited about that as well.
Yeah, well, and I can see a dusting of snow in the distance there as well.
No, that isn't. Over back here, there's a small dusting, but
it looks like snow on our screens here.
It does, and that's what I thought it was when we got here as well. But what it is, it's just a bare soil. So it's all sandstone and stuff like that at waste away. So it's all different layering. And those bits up there, for some reason, they're a bit white and a bit bare. So
nice.
Yeah. Is it sounding really windy where I am? It's a bit breezy. But
no, it's not sounding too bad at all. I'm sure the audience will put up with it considering you're on the other side of the planet.
Yeah, how's this though? We're in the middle of nowhere and I've got full 5G reception.
Yeah, that's America.
So lift your game, Optus and Telstra. But yeah, this is a cool place. So we've both been pretty blown away by how cool it is. So yeah, it's lunchtime here. So we're 6 hours ahead of you guys, but a day behind. So it's only Wednesday here. So yeah, we're going to probably have a bit of time down over lunchtime, and then we'll go back into the park and explore a bit more.
Fantastic. Now Zion National Park, it's quite a big park, I'm imagining, but is there good access to it for you guys?
This is something that Australia, New Zealand do national parks really well. Australia could benefit from taking some notes out of these guys because everything here is just top notch. Like the roads are all perfect. There's no issue. Like admittedly, it's a pretty quiet time of the year to be here, but the access through the gates all fine. There's parking. The signs are all good. I'm on a footpath. You might be able to see this is actually a footpath. You can pretty much ride bikes. You've got e-bikes. You can ride all the way down through the valley to the very end. There's shuttle buses that run through there. There's a little town hill called Springdale, which has got heaps of shops and cafes and restaurants and hotels and stuff. We actually went and had a look at a local photographer's gallery today, David J. West Gallery.
Linked in description.
link in the description. He has got some stunning photos. And 5-star Dan also commented on there that he said it reminded him a lot of just how you and I sort of shoot, not much processing, but just getting it right in camera. Very natural looking stuff, which is great to see. So, but yeah, it's like really well organized place, and all the roads are great. It's all well signed. You do drive on the wrong side of the road here, which is a little bit tricky. I would suggest anyone coming to America at least have a spotter sitting in the passenger seat so they can tell you when you're going down the wrong side of the road. Or
surely you haven't done that yet.
I pulled out once and was sort of going down the wrong side of the road, and Daniel was like, "Dude, wrong side." So now we're sort of just taking the piss a bit because we just driving. We're doing okay now, but the first couple of days we got off a flight straight into Las Vegas peak hour traffic. That was fun. Los Angeles, sorry.
Now, followers of your channel on Facebook might have seen a live stream from Vegas a couple of days ago.
There was a live stream from Vegas a couple of days ago, wasn't there, Daniel?
Is that still on? Is that still on the internet? Is that still available for people to see?
Absolutely, that is online and free access to all. That was pretty bloody funny.
For those of you listening along that didn't catch it, Cam and 5-star Dan were walking along in Vegas, and let's just say they were propositioned, I guess.
Yes, Daniel more than I was propositioned.
Sure, yes, that's right.
Yes.
I noticed you threw him straight under the bus. Brilliant.
Oh yeah, I threw him perfectly on the bus. It was the best thrown under the bus, and it was funny though. I still had the camera recording. I was fighting off one lady, trying to tell her I wasn't interested, while recording Daniel getting accosted by Santa's little helper. But it was very funny.
Yes.
It's not often you see Daniel squirm and sort of look a bit uncomfortable, but that was one. So this is Daniel's first overseas trip of all time. He's never been overseas before. So we've thrown him into the cauldron of coming into LA and Vegas and stuff like that. So he's handling it well.
He is handling it well. We can see 5-star reflected in your glasses, actually. He's
okay, now. Do you want to have a talk to 5-star? Do you want me to bring him on?
5-star needs to stick his head on quickly and say hello to
our
viewers and listeners.
Come on. He can put this other headphone on. He should be right to hear, I reckon. Just put that in your left ear, Daniel. Watch the tripod there. Righto, yeah. Welcome, everyone.
Hello, Daniel. Say hello to the Down South Photo Show listening audience and viewers.
Hello, viewers.
How's your experience so far in the US?
Wow, it's pretty good. It's everything I thought it would be and a bit more.
Yeah, good. And you're enjoying the stunning view behind you there?
Absolutely. If you look the other way, you can see like dustings of snow the other way.
Yeah, everywhere you look.
There's a couple of peaks out here that are pretty cool. I've just been wandering over there, having a look at them.
Nice.
Got a couple of shots. Got the camera out before.
Awesome. And I'm sure the viewing audience are dying to know, 5-star, what camera system do you shoot with?
Olympus.
Oh, there you knock me down with a feather.
Knock me down with a feather, guys.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thunk it?
Brilliant. All right, that's your 5 minutes of fame. Piss off.
Right.
Piss off. He's got a real good head for radio. So nice. Yeah, we're having a good time. It's been a lot of fun. The flight over was pretty good, and since we've been here, like Vegas is just nuts. Yeah. Everyone that's been there knows that. But out here is it's beautiful countryside. It's just stunning. So I'm really glad that we got out here this year to scout it out because there's a lot of hikes through here, so it would be pretty hard if you rocked up without knowing the place to try and find some good spots without making people walk 20 miles to get a nice shot. So there's heaps of really easy accessible shots on all the roads and little walks around here. So really excited about next year. So especially with this color, like I didn't realize this autumn color, like this is at the end of fall over here, but I didn't realize how because we're going to be here about a month earlier. It's going to be amazing. It's almost got a bit of an Ovens Valley bright feel with the colors, and so we're looking forward to that too. Yeah,
fantastic. Questions without notice.
Here we go. Questions without notice.
You love them. When one heads to the United States on a trip like this, will you carry with you your entire kit, or what conditions have you packed for in terms of photographic equipment?
So I bought a tripod. That was one thing I did bring.
And you're not normally known for your tripod usage. Let's be honest.
I'm not usually. Oh, there's a car going. Daniel's in love with all the cars around here. 4 big F100 Fords and things like that. He gets a bit excited. So I brought my Olympus camera, and I brought a wide angle, sort of like an ultra wide, and I brought a standard lens, and then I bought a zoom lens. I thought that sort of covers my whole range from sort of ultra wide to sort of almost 600 mil out. So it sort of covers all without bringing heaps of lenses. So, but you know, I've said it 1,000 times. I'll say it again. The Olympus camera, I could bring 6 lenses quite easily here and not have a weight issue. And they all fit in the backpack, which is easy. So I bought a tripod because there's a river, beautiful rivers and waterfalls and stuff we're going to be looking at. So that just helps a bit. And especially when you're doing early mornings and late afternoons, at a certain time you've got to chuck it on a tripod and get those shots nice and sharp and steady. But so the Olympus and about 3, maybe 4 lenses I think I brought for the whole trip.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. And when people are choosing their lenses when they're coming on the trip with you, you help them out with that, like
we do. Yeah, totally. So before we go away, we'll give people a bit of a itinerary of where we're going and what we're doing and what to bring, what lenses to suit. Definitely polarizers and neutral densities if they want to bring them. But it is a bit tricky. So again, like I'm not plugging Olympus, but I never get people from Olympus coming back saying, oh, what lenses should I leave at home and what lenses should I take? Most times they bring whatever they want. But if you're the big Canon users and Nikon users, they're always limited to maybe 2 or 3 lenses.
Yeah.
So if that was someone coming over here on my trip or either trip, doesn't matter. But I'd probably bring a wide angle, like a 16-35, and I'd probably bring like a 70-200. I reckon those 2 sort of lenses would cover 99% of what you're going to do down here.
Yeah.
Awesome. So and especially also with like around here, there's lots of little slot canyons and small canyons. So sometimes you're in quite tight spaces. So you want that extra width to get it all in as well.
And how are we temperature wise at the moment? Conditions over there, are they fairly mild, like Tasmanian like, or?
It is a bit Tassie like. I'm not going too bad. Daniel lives in King Lake, so he's not too bad as well. But this morning when we drove in, it was about 5 degrees Celsius. And then I think it's probably hovering around about 10 or 11 here at the moment.
Yeah, okay. And that's middle of the day, so
middle of the day. There's a bit of a breeze that's keeping the temperature down as well. In Salt Lake City, further north of where we are, they got snow on that over the weekend. So there is a chance we might get some snow on this trip when we go a bit higher.
Yeah.
So that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, it's bearable. It's chilly, but it's bearable. I've just got a hoodie on and a pair of pants and stuff. So
awesome. So well, it's all about the altitude there, isn't it? So you quite high there.
Well, we thought that this morning. We walked in this. We did this walk, did the big canyon overlook, and I'll put some photos on my Facebook page in the next couple of days. It's absolutely mind-blowing view. And it's about a mile return. So again, we don't know what a mile is in kilometers because we're a bit stupid. But the first 20 meters of it is just stairs. And Dan and I got to the top of the stairs and like, why the hell are we puffing so much? Like, we're not that unfit. And then we realized, well, hang on a sec, we're at a fair bit of altitude here. Maybe that was the excuse we went with. So maybe that was affecting us. But so
according to my Google Wikipedia knowledge, the lowest point of Zion National Park is 1,117 meters.
Right.
So that's pretty high in Australian standards.
That is, yeah. I don't know what these peaks are out the back here. Look at that one. That's lighting up at the back here.
The highest peak is 2,660. The highest
meters.
peak, 2,660 meters at Horse Ranch Mountain.
So 2,600 meters is the highest point. That's higher than Kosciuszko.
Yes, well and truly.
Yeah. So we'll blame the oxygen for our problems getting up the stairs. That'll do.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Got to blame something.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the stack of pancakes that you had.
No, that was before the pancakes. We've got to go walk them off now this afternoon. But yeah, like you look around these mountains, it's once you're in the valleys here, it feels like a movie set. Like you just like this doesn't look real. It looks like a painting. So a spectacular spot. And if I wasn't excited before I came here about coming here next year with people, I am now because I just know that they're going to absolutely love this, especially with this color that's going to be here.
Yeah.
It's going to be mind-blowing. We do have, funnily enough, 2 spots left. We had a couple of people have to change their plans, so 2 spots left for next year. What are you showing me there, Daniel?
Sorry, mate.
What are you doing? What do you got? Some stats for us? Hang on. What's he got?
So there's the Watchman.
The Watchman. So this is the Watchman behind us here. Apparently, this range here.
Oh, nice work, 5-star Dan.
See that arch?
And there's an arch there called Crawford Arch. there's all these arches and stuff through here as well. So above that sort of peak, there's a big arch. So it's Crawford's Arch. Yeah, it's a stunning place, man. We'll have to come here. We'll do it.
Yep.
Have to do a live show here together.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. I'll tee all that up for you. No worries at all. Now, a little bit of housekeeping, because we actually do have a podcast to deliver here as well. As fascinating as your background is.
I thought this is the Cam Blake show. What are you talking about?
That's right. Thank you to everyone for liking, subscribing, and following the channel. We have hit 710 subscribers on the YouTubes. Thank you very much. The People's Choice voting for November on the October comp last month is now closed. So when this goes to air. So thank you for everyone for voting. So we'll post up the People's Choice winner. And Cameron, we need a theme for our December comp.
Yeah, aren't you picking the theme because you said I'm not allowed to do it anymore?
Yeah, no, that's right. Because the trees one was a little bit broad.
This month's theme will be oxygen.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Show us a picture of oxygen.
Yeah, well, let me think, and I'll come up with one by the end of the show. But we will have a December comp running, so I think
watch out for that.
This goes to air on the 1st of December. So there you go. You can you'll be able to start entering through our Facebook page.
When are we going to announce the popular winner? When are we going to announce that one?
Well, that'll come up on the Facebook page soon too. So
okay,
we'll keep you posted. We'll keep you. No, that's fine. You've got a few fish to fry at the moment. We'll sort that out. It's all good.
It's all good.
Yeah. For those of you who care, my background is Point Lonsdale. There you go. Nice. That's it.
Boring.
Yeah, I know. I got nothing.
That's nice though. It's nice. We got
Don't
some
patronize
long exposure water. We got some nice long exposure water shots this morning, just in the valley here, which I'm really excited about. But that water behind you reminds me a bit of it. Same sort of shutter speed, I reckon.
My local Muse Point Lonsdale.
You love that place, don't you?
I do. It's a good spot.
Tell you what, the light here is just incredible. Look at this over here.
Yeah. Now, as I was talking before, you moved the camera around, so I'm going to go live screen, and you're going to point the camera.
I can do a 360 if you want. I'll do a 360 where we are.
Go for it.
Am I live? All right. So this is the main road over here, but this is all accommodation. Yeah, we can do a whole spin around. There's the hire car that's probably not going to survive the trip the way I'm driving. We got a bit slanty. There's a bit of snow on this peak out here. There's a bit of 5-star Dan getting out of the way. Look at him. He's running around. He's a bit gun shy now. There's the watch. That's the Watchman range. And then we're back to over where we are. So yeah, it's pretty cool. We went to a shop. I'm going to make it. I'm going to make you turn the camera back around. I like the view straight up the path behind you. That looks amazing. All right. Can I do that here? No, I don't know what I'm doing. Hang on.
No.
You want it? No, I can't move it. You want me to go back?
Go around again. Go around again.
This is terrible. This is terrible radio.
No, it's fantastic. I like that there. Look at the. As long as Dan wasn't in it, you got a beautiful the fence line running up behind Dan there, and the mountains in the distance.
It's pointing into the sun, mate. It's not good radio.
No, it's beautiful.
Hey, we went to a shop the other day called Bass Pro. It's an outdoor camping, hiking, fishing sort of store. Holy shit! If I have never been in a shop before, it is the biggest shop I've ever been into, and they sell absolutely everything. Anyway, as we're walking out, we went past the gun department, and America, they love their guns. There was a guy there buying his first gun, which was what was he buying? Like a 44 Magnum as his first ever gun. And we got talking to the guy behind the counter, and we're like, look, we're from Australia. This is not making any sense to us. Why? What's going on? And he turned around and he goes, one of the saddest days of my life was when I saw all you guys all putting your guns in the trucks and the dumpsters and giving them back to the government. Worst day ever. I'm like, right, yeah, we're leaving this store because we're clearly in the wrong spot. But you could buy a gun at a department store. It's just nuts, mate.
Yeah. So did you get one?
Yeah, I got a Glock 49 and
perfect.
Hey, are we talking about any topics today? What are we talking about?
Yeah, we had and in fact it'll be almost perfect for where you're stood. We have a question from Facebook, which we love.
Really?
Jump on our Facebook page and ask us anything. And it's about choosing a good composition and refining your technique for panoramic images, Cameron. Now, I mean, you've got a bit of a panoramic image right behind you, but I think the first. I'm sorry, I don't know who sent us in the question, but thank you.
Ban them. That's too hard.
Choosing a composition for a panoramic image, Cameron, what would you normally look out for when you? I mean,
Yes.
for me, it's like I see it, and it sort of wraps around my entire peripheral vision, and it's like, okay, well, that's a panorama right there. That's probably the dead giveaway, isn't it?
Yeah. Look, it is quite amazing that this question's been asked today, because this morning I actually did, for the first time in a long time, I did some panoramas where we were on this canyon outlook. And you're 100% right, because it had this sort of bowl feel, like this surrounding feel about it. So I think panoramas need to be a vast scene, I think, or a wide scene. Although having said that, I've done panoramas in forests and other things like that where it works pretty well. But I think you need space. You need space to be able to work that. Like here behind me, like you could probably panorama all that across back behind me there, because it's got quite a wide space. But yeah, so looking for compositions, I think you want to, I don't know if it's too much about foregrounds with panoramas. I think it's more about, I like doing the mountain ranges and sort of ignoring that immediate foreground and sort of getting that sort of middle to back layer. You might be a bit different, Brands, but that's sort of how I look at them. And
no, I'm with you. I like to avoid any foreground in a panorama, because it generally will stick out in the shot. So
it does,
and be more of a distraction. So yeah. I'm with you there for sure. Like shooting panoramas, you want to have a lot of distance, a lot of background subject to shoot. The only exception to that would be if it's all foreground, but not sort of in between.
I think panoramas, in a way, they're almost designed to eliminate that depth a bit. Like you're sort of trying to just isolate a mountain range, or isolate a horizon, or isolate something that's sort of a bit bigger in feature. So it is tricky, I guess. And I do my panoramas, I don't generally do them with my wide angle lens and then trim them down. I try and stitch them together if I can, which is what I was doing this morning. So this morning, this view was so big, I used a 150mm lens and stitched about 7 shots together and did them as vertical. So I got pretty much the whole top of the mountains all the way down to the bottom of the valleys in this panorama. So that's how I try and shoot mine. I try and shoot them vertically. I think I shot at about 5.6, keep the exposure the same all the way along from the bright side to the dark side, which is very important. And then I'll go back to the computer and try and stitch them all together. But compositions though, like I think for me, when I think panorama, I think big, wide, vast, grand scenes work really well.
Yeah, definitely. And pro tip straight off the bat is keeping your exposure settings the same. So, you might use aperture priority, for example, to set your exposure. But as soon as you've got your first one set, flick your camera to manual, and then go ahead and shoot your vertical pan. And shooting vertically is a really good tip as well, because you're going to get loads more information in that photo as well. So
that's right.
A seven shot stitch vertically. I mean, you're talking about, well, essentially on my camera, that's using 140 megapixels for that photo.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, like they got so much detail in them. One thing you can also do, just going back to the exposure compensation and aperture control and stuff like that, you can actually press your AEL lock, auto exposure lock, after your first shot. So lock your exposure and then just lock it in the whole way around. And the reason why you want to lock your exposures in for each stitch or each frame is that if you go from a slightly dark to a darker frame or vice versa, you're going to get a line when you stitch, which Photoshop really can't get rid of. So you want to make sure that exposure is consistent all the way.
Does that mean you've actually pushed your back button?
Yeah, I did.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I didn't actually. I just kept my finger half pressed and locked it in from the first shot. So I pressed it, locked it, and just did little half presses all the way.
Let's just put a little asterisk on that and say he wasn't using back button autofocus.
Sorry, the reception's breaking out. Sorry, I can't hear you. Sorry. What else was I was going to say something else about panoramas as well. I can't think now.
That's all right.
It was another pro tip about something.
Yeah, I'll give you one for sure, and that is when you're shooting panoramas, quite often people get very excited about panoramic images and they'll take a photo and it can look fantastic. It is a really good look for panoramas. The issue I have in the printing game is people will come in looking for a frame for a panoramic photo, and 9 times out of 10, it's shot in a ratio that's just not frameable for an off-the-shelf frame. So that can be a real issue. So normally speaking, though, a good, and I don't want to pigeonhole it, but generally a good ratio for a panorama is 3:1. So, for example, if you might do a print that's 10 inches high, which means it's going to be 30 inches wide. So, a 3:1 ratio to me generally looks pretty good. I'm not a huge fan of wider than that. Photos generally get that letterbox look about them, and they feel a little bit too thin. I think a 3:1 ratio is good. I'm sure someone's yelling at the screen right now that there is a golden ratio for panoramics, but we don't like that kind of crap.
No, we don't follow rules, mate. The 3:1 is good as well, because it keeps that height of the shot a bit more restricted, so you can cut out those foregrounds, which is great. Thinking of other shots I could do here with panoramas as well, like there's heaps of sort of meadows and these beautiful rivers running through here as well. That's something else you could use, like a sort of just a nice, beautiful wide scene of a meadow. Again, you probably wouldn't be worried too much about background mountains and stuff like that. So I think what I'm trying to say with panoramas is that whatever you're shooting has to be the hero of the shot. There's nothing else in it apart from what it is, really. So, but yeah, I think 3:1 is the same ratio that I would like as well, and I think that gives you a good sort of ratio and size. Like, for example, if you got an amazing panorama, you could do a 3 meter by 1 meter print. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll help you out there. Do you have any tips for people? Like, so you go out, you're a place where you are, or you're off on a big trip, and you come back and you've got literally thousands of images. Do you have a tip for people to isolate your panoramic shots out of your thousands of photos, so that those photos belong in a panoramic image?
Yeah, usually I just stick my hand in front of the first frame and last frame, or in front of each start of each panorama, I'll put a shot of my hand in front, or something like that. So when you pop it up when all your thumbnails line up, you'll see it go, oh, there's a hand shot. Okay, the next 6 or 7 or whatever are panoramas. Some people put their lens cap on and do a dark frame. Others put a finger in front. I know you put your hand up or something like that, don't you?
I just point. So I'll just put my finger up and just point and say, well, this is a panorama and it's going that way. And then at the last frame, I'll take the last frame, and then the one after, I'll put my hand up for a stop sign. So that's a panorama. That's the end of it.
You're a bloody genius, mate.
It's so clever.
That's ingenious. But yeah, like I don't do heaps of panoramas, but like I said, this morning I had to where I was, and I reckon there'll be a few more on this trip. But they are really cool to do if you are at an amazing scene or a massive outlook or whatever it might be. Panoramas work really well, and the reason why I think they work better as well as opposed to ultra wide angle. Ultra wide angle, you start getting a bit of warping on the sides and stuff like that, a little bit of bending on the sides. With panoramas, if you're shooting vertical and you're shooting at not wide angle, generally you'd shoot like a mid-range zoom, you can sort of cut a lot of that distortion out of your lens. So I think that also looks a lot better than that sort of ultra wide angle. Like what we got here behind me looks nice, but you can sort of see it's a bit curved on this wide angle lens. If you did that in sections and shot it as a panorama, you get beautiful upright mountains and no distortion.
Love it. We want to do a quick bit of gear talk in this episode as well. This won't be the longest episode ever because Cam's on a schedule to get out and find these awesome locations, but that's okay. We wanted to just quickly...
We're 30 minutes in, so we're doing all right.
Roughly 30 minutes in. So we want to talk quickly about high-quality compact cameras as well, a little bit of gear talk on this episode as well. Now, high-quality compact cameras are starting to get a little bit thin on the ground, and that's thanks to the handheld device we all know and love as the phone, is starting to kill off compact cameras. So are they actually worth it anymore? For example, cameras like the Leica Q series, the Fuji X100 series, Sony make their, can't remember the name of it, the R series. Are they worth it, Cameron?
I think they still are. The one I like the most is the Fuji's. The Fuji X100V or whatever it might be is a stunning little camera. You can't get them anywhere, but they're pretty good. And the Leica Q, I've had customers have had the Leica Q before. They are good as well. So, well, actually had a chat about this up on this lookout this morning. There was a guy from California that was there talking to us, and we just took photos on our phone. Like, how good does it look straight out of phone? But we both all sort of said, well, yeah, it looks good, but it's saturated. It's a computational shot. It's a little bit whack. Where, we all know as photographers, we want that full control of the raw file and have a really nice raw file to work with, which is what these compact cameras can still do. So, yes, I think there is still a need for them. but they are slowly dying out. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting being in the game like I am. Yes, believe it or not, I actually still sell cameras, folks.
No.
Shout out to Colleen. I know she watches and listens, and she's just acquired herself a new Nikon outfit. Very exciting.
Nice.
When it comes to the compact cameras, though, I get frustrated because we still have a lot of people who want those bridging cameras. They're in between a phone and an SLR. They don't want to carry an SLR at all. They want to have something small, in inverted commas, that will go in the pocket. But not always the case. It's they're just so hard to find now.
Well, it's the same conversation we had that same conversation last week about entry-level cameras are dying off because the phones are taking over.
Yeah.
Well, the phones are doing the same thing to these compact cameras. They're taking over them. So there's these little vacuums that have been created because these little compact cameras and entry-level cameras just haven't been selling well, and the iPhones are just taking over, and they do a bloody good job. But like you said, that I don't think they're just you still need that sort of entry-level camera, and you still need that compact camera as well.
For example, I mean, you're on your phone right now and recording. I mean,
yes, zoom
into those mountains behind you on your phone, can you please? So it just doesn't. So an optical zoom is definitely something that phone manufacturers are working on. There's no doubt about that. But companies like Samsung, for example, put out a camera, a phone that had a 10 times optical zoom, and it was using a tiny little mirror system and all, and it was absolutely pathetic.
Yes, well, that's the thing. Like I had a look at a couple of my raw files from the Franklin River the other week, and as soon as I put them on my camera on my laptop, I'm like, they're terrible. Like, yes, they're raw. Yes, you've probably got a little bit more leeway with them. You can play around with, but they are not good. So, can you hear those trucks in the background, Brendan?
Barely.
Barely. Okay. I'll show you. You know, I'll turn this around. But there's like all these dump trucks have rocked up.
Oh, right.
I don't know what's going on. They're doing a lot. This must be this is like their end of summer season, sort of before winter. I think they get a lot of work done around here. There's lots of
bit of a staging area for the trucks.
I think so. Yeah, I should have known that before we got online, but that's all good.
That's fine. We can barely hear it, Cameron. It's totally fine.
That's good. Good. Daniel's going for a sleep in the car. He's
attaboy.
Soft. He can't handle his world traveling, this young bloke.
So to just quickly cap off on compact cameras, are they worth it? Yeah, they are.
I think they are. Yeah.
They're very handy to have, but then it's like, okay, I've got my phone, I've got my SLR. What do But that there is still
how many cameras? How many cameras do we actually need?
Well, as many as you can buy, I think.
Yeah. So at one stage I had the Fuji X100V. That was a bloody good little camera, and I took it out almost everywhere I went in the car without my bigger camera. If I was doing more photos with my bigger camera, I'd take it out still. But it was a great little camera, like perfect here. You go have some brekkie at a little town, and you don't want to take your big camera. You just grab your your little camera out and take photos. But we do that with our phone now. It's just the same. So it's really tricky, but I can see where it's going to end up. We're going to end up with no little compact cameras, but I think we need to keep them.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. We don't have a deer cam for this week, so send them in. Yep. So we're gonna stick with deer cam through the hundreds series.
Is this the new format for the show? You just fly me around the world and I just tune in from all these different places?
And we'll just draw a continent from a hat and off we go.
So good. If you would like to buy a camera and a trip around the world,
that's right.
Jump on www.dsps.com.au.
Gee, you're getting good at plugging the website. I like it. dsps.com.au.
I've got a good mentor.
Yeah, that's right. Well, let's quickly talk about the beer donations because they have been flowing in. Pardon the pun, but
have you looked them up or who did them?
Of course, I haven't. So we will shout out to all the beer donations next week. We'll double down.
I know Mel's bought a beer.
Of course, he has. Thanks, Mel.
Thanks, Mel. I think there was someone else as well, but we'll make a shout out. That's for sure.
So where to from here, Cameron? Where are you heading today?
Well, it's just after 12:30 now here. We've just had a brunch. It's a very sort of scattered cloud day. You can see behind me here. It's a bit of sun poking through every now and then. It's very scattered. So the light's actually still pretty good to be shooting, but we're a little bit tired still. So we're about 20 minutes from where we're staying. We might go back and have a bit of a rest for an hour or so. and then we come back into the park later afternoon and go back in. We're going to head down to the very far end of the canyon up near the place called the Narrows. Last night when we got here right on sunset. By the time we got here from Vegas, it was a bit too slow, but there was some amazing color. So all these mountains, just all the alpine glow, they all glow orange. That'll happen here both in the morning and the afternoon. But whether or not we get it tonight with these clouds, I'm not sure, but we'll come back in and have a look. And then tomorrow morning we'll probably pack up and head off early as we head off out this way out to Bryce Canyon, where we're staying for a night. And then we're sort of further over to the east side of Utah for the next few days after that. So it's very exciting, mate. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah, no, it looks awesome. And if people want to keep up with Cam's adventure, jump on his Facebook page, Cam Blake Photography. Just do a little link in the description.
Very good. Yes, I'll put some photos up last night from those little happy snaps, but I got some really nice photos this morning that I'm quite happy with. So we'll probably go back and do maybe a bit of editing when we go back into the hotel room, which is what we sort of do on the trips as well. We have a bit of downtime in the middle of the day just to get people's batteries recharged when the light's a bit shittier.
Yeah, well, and we're also conscious, you will also be conscious of jet lag as well. Like there's the old time zone difference. It's actually not that bad to the States because
it's not, no.
Yeah, because you sort of get a day on the plane basically, and then
That's right. So that was what we spoke about on the way over. Like we had our watches set for Melbourne time and knew what time we were landing here. And Daniel and I like, you know what, let's just try and go to sleep at the normal time. If we get 4 hours sleep, we'll wake up in the morning when we're landing. It'll be like we just woke up naturally.
Yeah.
And that's worked. Like we don't actually feel too bad. But on the way home might be a bit different. We'll see how we go. But time difference wise, it's not too bad. I'll tell you what's doing my head in, ladies and gents, more than anything. There is Christmas decorations all through this town. It's a typical little alpine town. It looks stunning. There's Christmas trees and lights on, but there's bloody autumn trees out. I'm like, you're friggin' 6 months too early, folks. What's going on? It's making no sense. Doing my head in everywhere we go, and it's cold, and it's Christmas time. Like that's thrown my brain out a bit. But this town down here, Springdale, it's Americans just do everything bigger and better, don't they? So the Christmas decorations here, it's not little Christmas bigger. Trees. Yeah, maybe not better. But little Christmas trees all along the road that we have in Victoria or Tassie or whatever. No. We're going to get full-size bloody trees all the way through here. We're going to have 6 million lights hanging off every single one of them. There's Merry Christmas on every single door. They just go overboard with everything they do. It's crazy. So,
yeah, that's awesome.
But I must admit, they've all been extremely lovely. I know Americans sometimes have a bad rap about being rude and obnoxious.
No, that's only when they're out of their own country.
In here, like everyone we've had on this trip so far we've run into has been absolutely beautiful, wonderful people. So if you're ever thinking of coming to the States and that's something that might turn you off about the people, no. And we saw 2 F-22 Raptor fighter jets flying around yesterday on the way up here. So it's America, man. America. Yeah.
America.
Now,
have you encountered?
One other thing. Sorry, on the way here this morning, there's a big ranch out here. Had this huge flagpole with the American flag on it, and as we could see, it was sort of first light. We could see the flag just flipping around, but we saw it better because there's a spotlight on the flag. You know, it's not just enough to have the giant flag. You got to have a spotlight on it just in case you forgot where you live. Hilarious.
Yeah, that's great. Have you encountered other photographers so far?
No. I think I saw one this morning sneaking around the river where we were. It looked like a guy with a tripod.
Didn't happen to have a big wooden camera, did he? With an 8x10 negative in it.
No, I haven't seen Ben Horn at all. It's funny though because we've been to a few places already in here. I'm like, I don't really know where he goes. He must. Like, there's lots of little slot canyons and things that you can go in, but when I've watched his videos, I'm like, oh, where the hell's that? Like, so he obviously knows the place very well, which is a benefit for him. But no, there's not many. There's a guy this morning who just had like a point and shoot camera, but not many. It's pretty quiet. And everyone we've spoken to has said you've come really at the right time of the year. It's like really quiet, and it's 3% occupancy the next couple of days in this whole town. So
wow,
we've got the whole place to ourselves, which is great.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting, isn't it? I mean, that it's such a beautiful time of year to be there. I guess it's the holiday season there as well, so people tend to go home to their families and things like that.
Well, they've had Thanksgiving a few days before we got here. So, yeah, really, like, it's just pretty quiet. Like, everywhere we've been, there's maybe 1 or 2 people in the car park, and that's it. It's fantastic.
Right. Well,
we ran into some Australians this morning. as well.
There
walking
you go.
along a lookout path. The only reason we knew they were Australians because we were coming to this narrow section and we all went to the left-hand side.
Yeah, that's right. Must be.
Oh, yeah. So we've been asked if we've been Kiwis a couple of times.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just ask them if they're Canadians.
That's what I said. Oh, you must be from Canada.
Yeah.
So, no, we're having a good time. It's been great.
Can I just give a shout out to our friends of the podcast who accommodated us so well a month ago up in Swan Hill?
Yes.
Swan Hill actually copped a bit of flooding yesterday. Yeah, they got 90 millimeters of rain in 6 hours in Swan Hill, which is absolutely unheard of.
That's pretty full on.
Yeah, so there's nothing treacherous. No one's in danger or anything, but out in the Mallee area has copped a hell of a lot of rain, which is really devastating for the farmers out there. Poor timing about to head into harvest,
crops, doesn't it?
Yeah, about this. Yeah. So hopefully not too much damage has been done, but a shout out to our friends up Swan Hill and the Mallee doing it a bit tough at the moment.
Well, you know what we need to do? We need to run some more workshops up there to get some more people up there to see how good it is.
Well, we'll definitely be doing that.
Nice. How good is friggin' view behind us?
No, it's fantastic, and thanks for sharing it with the Down South Photo Show audience, Cam.
It's my pleasure. Just as the trucks start to move off now as we finish recording.
Yeah, that's all right. We haven't heard any background noise whatsoever.
This has worked pretty well. Like I said, I've got full 5G and
it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, the sun's. You know, it's funny. Like you go to Australia, especially in the southern states, you notice that color and the light in autumn. You get the sun a bit lower in the sky. Same thing here. It smells the same. It feels the same. The light's the same. We're just on the other side of the world. It's really cool.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely gorgeous. So we're not even sure where you'll be next week, but we'll work something out for another episode, I'm sure.
What's the date next week?
I don't know. It'll be the 6th of. Well, yeah, it'll be the 6th or 7th of December.
I'm on a plane on the 6th.
Oh, there you go. Perfect. Well, we might sneak in another episode before from OS before you get back.
I could probably do the Grand Canyon for you if you want to do the Grand Canyon.
Oh, well, might have. Yeah. Who wants to see that?
Yeah. We leave on the 6th and we get back on the 8th, so I don't do December 7th this year.
Yeah, that's cool.
You're not. Yeah. So I just looked at the car pulling in. I'm like, why is that lady not driving with the steering wheel? She's on the passenger side of our cars. So weird.
Still not got your head around that.
No, like she's got no steering wheel. Daniel got in the car the first day and tried to put his foot on the brake. So
perfect.
Anyway, all right. Thank you for letting me tune in from over here. It's been fun.
No worries at all. We'll possibly see you from the Grand Canyon next week. If not, we'll see you back in Hobart Town, Tasmania. But that is it. That's the podcast. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Yes. We will see you for episode. We're 103. We're getting into high numbers now, Cam. It's hard to keep count.
Got to take your shoes and socks off now, don't we?
We'll see you for episode 103 next week. Safe travels, Cam, and 5-star. Thanks for jumping on. We'll see you next week.
See you, y'all. See you all.